everybody! Welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. I am Erin of Happily Erin, your host, and let me tell you the name of the manga that we're reading this week before I get into that. The manga that we are discussing this week is Hinomaru-Zumo, chapters 1 through 34, volumes 1 through 4. We are continuing our March Madness Sports Month, where we just discuss sports manga every single week because it's the best manga. We have to dedicate an entire month to it. But yeah, once again, I'm Erin of Happily Erin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger, and I'm super hyped to talk about this manga. Like, super hyped for MangaPod today. I was really excited to talk with you guys.
Hi guys, my name's Lou, and I am also super hyped to talk about this manga. I've been hyped to talk about it for a week now because I started reading it after the last MangaPod, and it's just so much hype. I want to draw circles on the floor and push people out of them. So hyped. Sports anime does this to me where I want to do the damn sport.
I thought you were going to go to alchemy or something with that. It's like, are you going to give a body part for anime become...
I might. Will Production IG do it?
Yokozuka?
What is the equivalent exchange? I need to know the exchange rate.
The equivalent exchange for an anime produced by Production IG. It's hard.
It's quite literally an arm and a leg.
It might be your entire collection of manga and anime, Lou.
I don't know about that. That I might not part with. I don't know.
It'll happen.
Arm and a leg, sure, but not my mammoth moves. Don't take those.
The most weave answer. Don't touch them. If you guys have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary, and then we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in and you don't want to be spoiled, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section and go and read it, and then come back and watch the VOD of it on youtube.com/happilyerin. I was gonna say, we ask that you do not post any spoilers in chat until we get to the spoiler section. And then after that, we ask that you do not post any spoilers for anything past what we read, which is chapter 34 is what we ended on. So only spoilers up to chapter 34. Anything after that, we call anybody who spoils rotten bacon butts. You don't want to be it, so please don't be it. So let's go ahead and read. Yes, Yoku is a fart. As he should be. Alright, I am going to read the description. It is a divine ritual, a martial art, a combat sport. It's sumo. A small new student, Ushio Hinomaru, appears before the weak little sumo club of Odachi High School. The words big and heavy are the rules to this sport, which does not fit this newbie any inch.
Yep.
But this guy goes and does what? Ushio and the small sumo club climbs its way to the top. The goal is Hinoshita Kaisan, a title for the highest rank in professional sumo, equivalent to Okozuna. A fired up high school sumo tale. No retakes allowed.
No retakes allowed. No. You heard it here first.
They're so serious.
You only get one shot.
That's it.
Do not miss this chance to blow.
Yep. Dex bonus 2017.
This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Yo, lose yourself in the music the moment you're on. Anyways.
Alright, spoiler for recommendations. Would anyone like to go first?
I'm down to go first.
Hit it.
Dolly.
I thought
for a second.
Oh, it says we're offline.
Yeah,
we're offline.
Oops.
Are we still online at... Alright, I'm gonna stop.
I'm refreshing. Okay.
Let me see.
It's dead.
I'm super excited to hear what you think about it, Dodger.
Yeah, I am too, because I have no idea. Hang on, let me restart it on Twitch. I don't
Eminem broke the stream. Guys, no.
No. All right, let's see if we're back. We're still going on the YouTubes.
Yay! Hi,
Leave
YouTube. Sorry.
Hi, YouTube.
I'm quoting Eminem lyrics at chat and Twitch.
That's what
See,
did
just
it.
to get, yeah, you're supposed to start that with mom spaghetti. That's typically how that goes.
Mom spaghetti.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti.
Mom
He's
spaghetti.
nervous.
Mom's
He's nervous,
spaghetti.
but on surface he looks.
Okay, we're live on Twitch.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right, Dodger, can you
Bars.
please tell us
So-
what you thought? Because none of us heard.
Mom spaghetti. Also, I freaking loved this manga. What I was saying before is that I think a lot of people, when they hear that it's a manga about sumo, you're gonna be like, okay, like not super jazzed about it, you know? But it had all of the elements to it that are like perfect for a sports manga. I love all of the characters. I'm super invested in sumo wrestling now, and like I blasted through what we had to read to the point where I got to chapter 34 and I was like, what chapter am I on? Fuck, I have not been keeping track because I was just so invested. Like I was completely in it. I highly recommend this manga. I think all of us were wanting to read more because we just got like grabbed, you know? So I can't wait to read more of it. And yeah, I definitely recommend it.
I guess I can go next. I'm gonna have to echo everything Dodger said. Originally, or in the first couple of chapters, I wasn't really taking it seriously. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as my expectations were pretty low going into this because you know it's a manga about sumo, which is a sport that I think of other combat sports as being more aggressive. Which I love how the manga. I want to say things. I'll say them later, but the manga addresses my concerns, and I went from having like the theme music from E Honda's stage in Street Fighter 2 in my head during the matches to like some ultra hype Kuroko no Basuke like season 3 music. Just go up, like feeling like it belongs with this. I need production IG to adapt this thing right now, please. Please. It's good. I like the manga. Go read it.
I'm just gonna say yeah to both of you because this manga is it's so hype. You just get so into it, and when I think of sumo, it is not something I am like interested in. Like I have respect for sumo players, sumo athletes, but I never like would have considered it something that I would be interested in reading a story about. But it is so great. The characters are wonderful. Everything, like Dodger said, everything that makes an awesome sports manga is here in this manga. The character interactions are great. All of the backstories are turning out really good. The pacing is awesome. There's nothing that drags on too long. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. If you like sports anime, or if you're just looking, or sports manga, or if you're just looking for like an action manga, even just go and read this one. Even if you say you don't like sports or you're like it's sumo, like that doesn't matter. Just go and read this manga because it's so great. It's so good. Yeah, I guess I recommend it.
I suppose so.
I suppose.
Begrudgingly.
All right, should we jump into spoiler section?
Yes.
Yes. All
All
right.
right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ushio's god.
Ushio or sumo, one of the two.
Sumo
Sumo.
could also be a god. There is a god of sumo, apparently.
Yeah,
There is.
apparently it's the thing.
And he's always watching. Ushio reminded us multiple times.
I like that was so prevalent in like the first chapter, and then after that it was kind of like never said
It
again.
died off.
It
Yeah.
was like this weird little quirk that the mangaka gave to him just to make him like unique and silly, and then after that he's like, actually he doesn't need that. He's interesting
It was-
enough.
It was very much the heart of the cards of
Mhm.
of this manga, and then it
Yeah.
died quickly.
Yeah,
The heart of the
believe
cards
it.
died.
Facts.
The Databayo of
The bio.
sumo wrestling.
Oh boy. So question we usually start with is, what were your expectations before going into this manga? We kind of touched on them before, but if you guys have any more in depth or anything you would like to add about it.
the only thing I know about this manga going into it was that there is a crossover chapter with Kuroko,
Right.
and
And I
the
have read
fact-
that even though I knew nothing about the other manga,
like
but it was Kuroko.
the existence of that crossover chapter kind of it did two things. It both filled me with excitement and kind of worried me, because typically, at least from what I've seen, like you only see those crossovers when one manga needs to pull in help pulling in new readers. But it also, the other side to it is I want to see the characters from Kuroko no Basket trying sumo. I think that would be hilarious.
It's pretty good.
Obviously, we haven't read that far. That chapter is later on. But my expectations apart from that were, I expected, I guess, something a little bit more grounded and serious. I didn't expect it to be as lighthearted, and I didn't expect to be or for the main character to be the Genki guy. I expected, I don't know, just a short. Typically, the short character is always the angry and very vocal and violent character. See Edward Elric. See every
he's
other
kind
short
of
character
Agent
ever.
Somura from Ace of Diamond. I think
But yeah. So that's my expectations. It was completely subverted. I love this manga. It was great.
What were you gonna say, Aaron?
I was just like you said that he's kind of that. I was just agreeing that I think he's a mix of the two. Like he is very serious and angry when it comes to sumo. Just in terms of he wants to show his way of sumo, I guess, and he's very serious about that. But otherwise, when he's outside the ring with his teammates, he's much more of the Genki, lighthearted, encouraging character. And so he's an interesting mix of the two stereotypes that we get in sports manga. And so I think I love him that much more because of that. But as for my expectations, literally the only thing I knew about this is exactly what Lou said, was that there's a crossover with Kuroko. And I actually forgot that this is the manga that crossovered with. I just remembered that there was Kuroko with sumo. That's literally the only thing. Everything else got blocked out for me. And I didn't even know the name. I didn't even know, because we didn't have the description for it last week. I didn't even know what it was going to be about. And so when I looked at the description and started reading, I was like, oh, it's sumo. Really did not expect to love the characters as much as I did. Did not expect to be as invested in each match or even feel as just drawn along with it, just like as in the match as everybody else was. Just because when I think of sumo, I don't think of like that kind of intensity, but this makes me want to watch sumo.
Watch
and
sumo,
want
same.
to be in a suit, like do sumo, like which I don't know, that would not go well for me, but
Right.
I want to do it anyway. So
Aaron, if this manga taught you anything, is that you could achieve
I can
success in
sumo. I could sumo. That's all that matters. That's
No
the
matter
point
what
of this
your
manga.
body type is, you
gonna
can
sumo.
find your sumo.
I want to
And,
sumo.
I mean, you guys know that I have a soft spot in my heart for short boys
Yeah,
who
I thought of he
go
the
the
entire
distance.
time.
Short boys who are like, I'm not gonna let this get me down. I'm gonna be the fucking best. And I'm like, yeah, you are, baby. Poor sweetheart. I also liked that this manga had little elements of almost Prince of Tennis, because we see so many sports manga that are either this person is like pretty okay at it and they've been doing it for a while, but during this story they're gonna hit their stride, or it's they've never done it before and it's totally new to them, but there's something special about them and this is their story, right? And I like seeing another one that comes at it from the angle of, no, the main character is already really good at this sport. Like they're already a really, really good contender. And it's kind of a story about them inspiring and bringing together a group of people, and the way that comes about. And I just love it.
And I like that there's that theme of redemption in the story mixed in as well. That while he is this incredibly talented sumo wrestler. He did fail a lot in middle school, so he did have an obstacle to overcome. And I like that we're not getting him overcoming that obstacle, because I feel that would have been too cliche. Like, he's already overcome that obstacle in the time period before the manga, and now we're seeing what he develops now that he's come into his own as a sumo wrestler, and what changes and growth can come from this, especially now that we've seen him take a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Finally. I was like,
Yeah.
you gotta lose.
You gotta lose someday.
You gotta lose. I was like, all right, I understood why they waited to have him lose until that part, but I was like, come on, when is it gonna happen? What is the storyline gonna be?
Yeah. Yeah, we've covered so much in just 34 chapters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing is really good in this. Like, they don't waste time on anything.
Yeah. Yeah, which is very nice, because like I said, I don't know anything about sumo, and so I didn't know how long the matches were going to take. And I love that they're able to put so much character development and intensity in such quick matches.
Yeah.
Without it feeling like I was lost or confused. Like, I never felt like that. Like, maybe I still don't 100% understand a lot about sumo, but I never felt overwhelmed with it was a very nice balance of everything that they were trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
What was I had another point as I was talking, but I don't remember what it is.
So how do you guys like how the matches themselves are timing out, since you kind of touched on it earlier? I honestly, I didn't know I didn't know the matches would, or I didn't expect the matches to be presented that quickly, where they're all resolved within a span of a chapter, maybe 2 chapters.
Yeah.
I'm used to fights or combat sport manga, like see Teppu, see Hajime no Ippo, like the fights being a little bit more drawn out. And this is kind of refreshing, because I feel like when they focus too much on the sport, or too much on explaining on the mechanics of the sport, I feel like it takes away from the experience. And I feel like the fact that the fights themselves are so short doesn't allow room for that type of exposition, which can get repetitive.
Yeah.
I don't need to have the rules of sumo explained to me a million times. I just need to see them kick ass, which does happen quite a bit in this manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, that was the thing that I couldn't remember what I thought about. So often in like sports manga, this happens in Kuroko a lot, where they're playing a game, and then there's somebody in the audience that's explaining everything that's happening, and usually it's like another basketball player. What I liked about this is that is so easily done, because they have new people coming into the sport, and it's so that way it feels much more natural for like each one to have different questions about different things, and so it doesn't feel super in your face. And so I think that's something that helps the flow of the explanation, just because it didn't feel like they were like, all right, we need to explain this to the audience, so we're gonna implant this one character here.
Yeah, you're right, because pretty much every other character that's on the main team is like new to sumo. And also we have like the weird reporters who are obsessed with sumo wrestling, and like, yeah, we have a decent number of characters that we can turn to, because the like basic rules of sumo are simple. So it's only in those moments where, they have the rando characters that are basically us, who are like, do something. Why aren't you guys doing anything? And then they'll go to the reporter, and the reporter will be like, it's not that simple, is it? I'm like, tell me more. It's not that simple. I must know everything. So yeah, I agree. I think that it's really nice that the matches happen pretty quickly, that the moments that need to be intense and that are important, they take the time to make you realize that that's like an important moment in terms of like control and power in the match. And it never really felt like I was being sat down and told every little thing about sumo, you know, and when they have repeated something, it's come very naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. The matches were very quick. Like, I'm used to in sports manga, things taking so many chapters, like, forever. And so to have each match kind of meet its conclusion, like you said, Lou, so quickly, it was refreshing. I thought it was very nice to have that in a sports manga, and it made it stand out a little bit more too.
You know what also made it stand out a little bit more? The constant reference to each other's like loins.
Oh
that
my
happened
god,
quite a
the
bit.
butts!
It's like his loins are so amazing.
So many butts in this, but like it's just like it's so normal. Like it's just butts. It's just sumo. It's just the booties.
Dude, not only that, I really appreciated the fact that everybody in this was stacked. Like they were all huge. There was one picture that I took a screenshot of and I accidentally closed the tab, but it was of when the two short boys were fighting each other. And
yeah, Sosuke. Is it Sosuke? Or is
No,
it,
Sosuke is Kuze. Is Sosuke Kuze, I think is his name. I don't remember the
Sosuke
short boy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ushio and the other tiny boy.
Starts with an S.
The one that like the version of Ushio that decided to
be quick
and change his style of sumo.
Yeah. When they were fighting each other, there's one shot where like he's trying to trip Ushio and it didn't quite work, and the shot is so funny because his leg is like so big, his thigh just looks enormous, and I was like, jeez. But I just loved that from the get-go. Like the very first time we saw Ushio without his pants on, it was like, oh damn, that guy's got some fucking legs on him.
I like that they were like, what a tight ass, like a tight booty.
Yeah.
Like I like that it's a story about a small sumo wrestler, but you can kind of believe that he could be successful in a sport because he isn't a little scrawny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. They're all of the, it's not like a bunch of pretty boys. Like the faces may be kind of aesthetically pleasing at points, like for some characters, but there is no like doubt that these characters have trained for sumo. And I think that's really cool. There's no like lanky characters other than the new guy who just joined, but like they're all so real, I don't know, believable at their character designs. There's no like, we're gonna make this pretty so that they're more attractive to girls or something like that, which I really appreciated. I like that.
Yeah, I think aside from Tiny Flute Boy, which I want him to find his thing.
Oh my
so
god,
bad.
I can't wait for him to bulk up. Can't wait for him to get thick.
Yeah, all these boys are so thick with two C's. I think the only other one who seemed just kind of slighter than everybody else was the delinquent kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like very
Uma.
first person to join. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, by the way. Dude, he's so great.
He's just Vegeta, which is okay.
He is. I'm super into it.
Yeah,
Like, I had a life of crime, but I don't want that anymore. I want to taste defeat, and then I want to crawl back out of the gutter. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay.
It's like, oh,
I love him. I love him.
He is very much, like, he's ripped, but in a very different way from the rest of the sumo wrestlers because he never trained his body in that way. And so it's very
he did
different.
judo. Is that right?
Yeah, he did some kind of
karate.
martial.
Wait,
karate. Yeah, he did some kind of martial arts.
He
And
was
the other boy did.
The other guy was a wrestler.
Martial arts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the
That's right.
wrestler. Oh yeah, Chiro, what do you think of Wrestler Man?
I love him. He's the fart. He's Yokurama. That's his butt that's farting right there.
He fought. There was like, so that was another thing I was expecting a lot more focus on, like the booty, like just throwaway lines about it, and there weren't any really, which I'd actually really appreciate because obviously in the world of sumo, they're like, hey, it's the normal outfit, like that's what we wear as our uniform. So the fact that we finally got a fart scene made me so happy.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for that crossover chapter that's bound to happen with Keijo, to be honest. Like, that needs to happen.
I hope they just cross over with all sports manga. Mwah.
I was trying to remember because Nisekoi had a crossover with the sports manga, and I was trying to remember which one it was, and it's Haikyuu.
What?
Haikyuu.
Oh.
They go to the beach and they all play volleyball.
That's so weird.
I
Nice.
was like, I know they're both Shonen Jump series, but I was like, what a bizarre crossover to do. Oh, we were down. Yeah, Chiro, the wrestler, I really enjoy him. And it's because throwing in a bunch of new characters, it'd be very easy for them to be like, oh, they're winning everything. They suddenly got so good at sumo, even though they've never done anything. So bringing in him, who has experienced wrestling, it makes for a very interesting, different play style from other characters. And so I think that's really cool because we so often get in sports manga, we get, oh, this character's play style is this, but so rarely do we see the like grounds of that and where it came from. And so getting that perspective for that makes him even more of an interesting character.
Yeah, for both of them, right? Because Delinquent Karate Kid, he like basically he like basically adapted all of his punches into sumo strikes. So I liked all of that. I like that every character is very different. And I want two things. I want the captain to gain enough confidence to like be a solid rock for the team because I love him. Yeah. And I want Tiny Flute Boy to bulk up. And then I'll be content.
Speaking of the captain, what did you guys think of Ozeki and like how his character has progressed throughout the series?
They're so precious. He's so precious.
Yeah. I like that I liked the chapter where he had his first match and he remembered I don't know why. I liked him remembering being told like you need to hold yourself up more. Like you're letting your lack of self-confidence affect your form, and it's creating a disadvantageous situation for you. I thought that was interesting, and like the first time that we see him try to like pull himself out of this really like reclusive person, it was yeah.
And I like that kind of brought up that it's like started the story, the line of it's about the spirit as much as it is about the body and the training.
Yeah.
And so that just shows like if he has more confidence, he'll have a little bit better of a fighting style. And so I thought it was really sweet to have him. And his captain moment at near the end of our reading, where he went after him. I thought that was really sweet.
But he got it like robbed from him.
But he got it taken from him. But they were like, "Oh, go, Captain!" And he's like, "Ah!" And then he got it taken away.
Yeah, he like went out there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited for them to have this sweet bonding moment." And then, Bitchy Sister was there, who I love. Bitchy Sister was there, and then his like best friend was there. I was like, "No, Captain!"
Best friend's name is Kirito.
Kirito, yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to call him that because I just think of Sword Art Online.
No, exactly, and that's the whole point. He is very much Kirito because obviously, like, he knows all the answers. He obviously is a professional, and he can make anyone win.
Right? Yeah.
Not to like completely change the subject, but you talked about Kirito. I went and saw the Sword Art Online movie last week.
How was it?
And it's actually pretty decent. If you like the first half of the first season, you'll enjoy the movie a lot, which is like the best part of Sword Art Online anyway. But there's this one scene, and this is not a spoiler. There's this one scene where Kirito is super angry and frustrated, and he punches a vending machine, and a drink comes out, and he holds it up and offers it to the girl he's with. So he goes from super pissed off, and he goes, "Hey, you want a drink?" And I was like dying. It's my favorite scene in the whole movie. Sorry, I just had to make sure that the world heard about that.
That everybody knew.
It's just such a good scene. But yeah, so we had, that got like taken away. So Kirito got introduced at the very end, though we'd had some foreshadowing to a character early on with the telephone calls and stuff like that. Like he's that guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's the one that Ushio is always talking to on the phone.
Yeah. So yeah, he appeared, and the very last thing we read was him just going, "I'll be your coach." I was like, "Shit."
Yeah.
And it's very fun to see, because he's a character design that reminds me of like the creepy dude who kind of like shows up and makes everyone weirded out.
Well, they've even like kind of characterized him that way so far. He's already kind of been the weirdo. People are like, who the fuck is this guy?
He's such a weird guy. But we didn't get very much of him, so there's not a whole lot to talk about with him.
We know that he can take one of Ushio's headbutts in the chest and laugh about it. So he must have something going on underneath his clothes. Just throwing that out.
That's another thing I love, that when they take off their clothes, the bodies underneath are not what you're like.
He's like way bigger.
like Kosuke, when he is wearing his jersey and stuff, and the big dude, Sosuke, that's his name. When he's wearing his jersey, you're like, oh, he's kind of like tall and lanky. Like, he kind of just looks like he kind of curves on. Like, you get he's big. And then he takes it off, and in his lone class, and the first time you see him, I was like, how are you that thick? I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
man.
What?
Even his
No, he's
neck.
clearly a high school
way
student.
wider. Clearly. He was way wider than I was expecting him. Like, broader. And I was expecting so many other, like, of the main characters to be the, like, way heavier set characters that we are very, like, you think about with Sumo. So I actually really appreciated his character design, because he doesn't have all the abs and, like, the muscle and everything. Like, he just looks much broader. Like, he just has a different body type, which I thought was nice. Not all of the characters have the same exact body type, which is very good.
Yeah, everybody in this manga, for the most part, is large in some way, but there's still like a good variety. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I was laughing because my brain went dirty with it. Just being honest.
Go on.
No, that's all I'm gonna say. We should talk more about main character. We should talk more about him. How did you guys feel about his, like, background and story arc that we've gotten already, like with his mom and his kind of downfall in middle school and stuff?
Before we get specifically into that side of his backstory, one thing that I guess it caught me off guard, was how linked he and Sosuke were, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I did not expect at all.
I didn't see that coming at all. So when it was revealed that his coach was Sosuke's dad, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, that was a nice little twist.
Yeah.
Unexpected. What do you guys
That's
think
it.
about
That's all I had to say about that.
his whole mom situation?
Yeah, did his mom pass away? I don't know if that was made clear, or if she's still in the hospital.
Yeah, I don't know.
know
Either about that, for sure.
I mean, I love him, because he is he's not one-dimensional. He is a good blend of, like, competitive and also, you know, just wanting to share a love of sumo, and just dedicated, and he's just like a cool character. I like him a lot.
I kind of wish, like, that one scene where, like, he's breaking down in the rain after his loss. I feel like that one scene should have been stretched out a little bit more. I would have liked to see him venting or struggling a little bit more to get over his frustrations. But that aside, I really like the character that they've cultivated for him, where he has his motives for wanting to maintain his style of sumo. He's doing it to prove to his mom that he's trying to make her feel better, basically, about birthing him into this body that she feels is inadequate for the sport. I don't know. It's just a lot of compelling parts to his story, and I want to read more.
Yeah, I agree. And we've seen, like, what's interesting about him is that I feel like we've gotten a lot of pieces about his character, and we've seen, like, this happened in his past, and this happened, and this is his name, and this is how they're connected. But I still feel like there's so much more that we're going to get to experience with him, which is really nice because I don't feel like they've thrown everything at us yet. And even if they did, it was more of a taste instead of the whole thing. Yeah, I really like him. I adore him.
I want to know how he got, like, because he's got a big old gash on his face.
Mhm.
Yes.
He's got a couple, like, right here, too. And I'm like, where did those come from, dude? And I don't know if you're supposed to think that, like, some of these ones were from his body, like, getting bigger too quick, but I don't know if that's, like, a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a manga thing.
It's a manga thing. Yeah, I don't know. But he definitely has, like, a big something on his face.
I've been wondering, because he doesn't have it at certain certain flashbacks. He doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a product or a scars that originated from the training that he did during middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
like I looked like I think I remember looking at like the panels where he's younger and I don't see those scars.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that seems like the logical connection to make.
Yeah.
Mm.
People in chat are saying stretch marks, that they could be stretch marks instead of scars.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe. But I mean, there's one on his face. I don't know why he would have a
yeah,
mask
that's
that
on
one
what I'm
has
his
to be a
saying.
face.
scar. Yeah. Like, could it be? No, I don't know. I'm excited. I want to know. I want to know so bad. I'm gonna be so upset if it's just like a quirky character thing and we never learn about it.
It was just part of his training, Aaron.
It's not good enough.
God. What's the girl's name? Reina?
Reina.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about Reina?
I love her a lot. I was like, I did not expect her to be Yuma's sister at all until like right before it was revealed. Like when they were having that conversation, I was like, oh, she's the sister that was in the doorway and was saying all that stuff to him. So I wasn't expecting that at all. So that was a nice little twist. And I like that she isn't the standard school president. She's definitely like, hey, if I don't like you, my brother will beat you up. And then she's like, but she has this very, she obviously looks up to her brother and cares about him because she gets so embarrassed when he does something.
When he doesn't do well.
When
Yeah,
he
I was
doesn't
like,
do well,
oh.
she obviously cares, and the fact that she went to watch him, she supports him and all of that. And I like that she's probably, we were saying this earlier, gonna become the manager. But I love the fact that she did not start out that way because that is so standard to have like introduce a character to only have her. They introduce a girl just because she's the manager.
Who
And
already
this time,
loves the sport.
Yeah.
And wants to be the manager.
But
Yeah.
can't play it because she's not a boy and all of that. And so having her introduced as a character before she becomes the manager is nice. It's great. And she has a personality too. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I love her.
I'm just hoping that her personality grows beyond just kind of like bitchiness and obsessive over her brother. Like I want her to mature as a character a little bit more and to add another side to her and maybe go back and build up who she was and why she developed this attachment to her brother and maybe explain why she was able to attain her status in the school and just other aspects to her character. Like I feel like the more information we have on her, the better of a character she'll be for the manga.
Totally.
Definitely. What about you, Dodger?
Oh, I like her. I like that she basically exactly what you guys said. I love that she obviously loves her brother enough to go and watch him do this sport that she thinks is a huge waste of time. And that she gets really like upset when her brother doesn't do well because she obviously cares about him a lot. But I'm glad. Something that I was actually really glad about was that she didn't go to this sumo match and then get immediately moved by it. Like she's still just like, I think that this is a huge waste of time. Like there were moments where she was drawn in and engaged, but she still overall is like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, and that's nice because sometimes you do have those sports manga and anime where everybody's just like, I didn't get it until I saw you play
Yeah.
main character, you know?
MC
So-
Chan.
Yeah.
Um,
MC-chan.
I also like that she's not a love interest of
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah,
she's not,
it's gonna
Yeah.
go down that route. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
but she hasn't been introduced that way, and like just every time somebody sees her, it's just hearts everywhere. I like that that's been the case so far, and I
That's
would love
true.
it if that did not. If that
Well, you mean
continued to be the case, I
the
would love it.
manager, like the manager from Haikyuu, like
Yeah.
that she's not like.
Kyoko? Oh God, Sarah would kill me for not knowing her name.
No, it's true though. I hadn't really thought about that, but it's very refreshing. She like spent the whole time that she was watching those sumo matches with her brother's friends, and they never once were like, Reina-chan,
Yeah.
you should go on a date with me. That never happened.
And there was no like she walked into the room and all of the other people were like, oh, "Who is that?"
That's
"Why
Reina,
is the
the
girl
school
here?
council president.
What is the
Yeah.
girl doing at a sumo match?" Like that was
Yeah.
just so it was like, "Hey, it's whatever. She's Reina." That's all. It is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sosuke. Kuze. Big dude. What are you guys' thoughts on him and his backstory and his little friendship?
I like that his dad was kind of got over the fact that he told him not to sumo really quickly. He's just like, oh, it's just for this one specific reason that I want you to stand on your own and whatever. And now he's doing it, and now he found his passion for this sport, and now he's being supportive. I like that he wasn't just gonna be a dick about everything.
Yeah, there's no drama really after that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that he's obviously a very sweet, gentle person.
Mm-hmm.
But like when he's in sumo mode, he's like, I've trained for this for so long. I know exactly what to do. I'm good.
Yeah. He's awesome. I love
Yeah, I
him.
like him a lot.
I like that the manga refers to him as enlarged Ushio.
Yeah.
Like Onimura.
I like that he's the one Ushio lost to. Like, it does make me happy. Even though as I was reading, I was like, Ushio has to lose to some... So he just keeps winning. Like, I love him. And his matches are so great, but he just keeps winning. When's he gonna fall? Who's he gonna fall to? And I'm glad that it was Sosuke. Just because there's such a difference in their skill. Like, just... They're so, like, connected, but there's such a difference between them that, it made for a really interesting match, and it's going to make for an even more interesting rematch in the future.
Yeah. Because I think we all knew that had to happen, that he needed to have that moment where his resolve was tested again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad it was against a really cool character where that match was just super epic. It was like, oh!
A really cool character who we had also gotten the backstory to, and we were already attached to. And so we had investment in him as well.
Yeah.
Also,
and I sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I liked the reveal that the kid that he hurt was his little best friend.
Yeah.
And that I can't remember that dude's name, but that the other little shorty dude, I like that he's just like, we're not friends. We're rivals. I'm not your friend. And I'm like, you guys are obviously best friends. It just makes me
And I like how little short dude was all salty about the fact that he couldn't get Kuze to get serious about the sport like Ushio did.
Yeah.
Art. Let's talk about art. What are you guys' thoughts on that? ART.
I liked it. I liked the art. I thought that it was really clear what was happening in the sumo matches. I like the designs of the characters. Everybody's thick.
Two C's.
Good.
I'm gonna have to echo those thoughts. I will say though that whenever there's a named attack, which this manga has plenty of named attacks.
So many. Some of them are so lame too. It's just like part 2.
Like Chihiro special move number 1 or Chihiro special move number 6. That's cool. Whatever. It looks cool, which is a point that ties into the art. Like whenever there's one of those big named attacks, like those panels look cool as shit.
Yeah.
Like I have to like I read it on my phone and I had to zoom out and just take a second to process everything that was happening in the attack. And it was, I don't know, it was great. I really specifically loved those panels. And I'm glad that we got so many of them.
I really want to go back because we had that panel, I think it was with Sosuke and Ushio. We had a panel at the end of one of the chapters that was like a 3-headed snake and a giant oni.
Yeah, it was the end
and
of
I was
that
like,
match. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that's fucking cool. But it made me want to go back because in the background of every one of those special attacks, there was like an animal in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in my mind, I'm like, I think it was always a dragon. But now I'm going, what if everybody is represented by a different animal? I have to go back and look now. I need to know.
Yeah, like the imagery of it was very great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the art. I wouldn't like, I don't know. It did exactly what it needed to very, very well. And I really, like I mentioned before, I really enjoyed the character designs, how they're not all made to look super pretty or anything like that. Like they're very realistic and like believable character designs. Yeah, I just really enjoy them, and they're also varied too. So I never really got confused about who was who or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that kind of threw me a little bit for the character designs, and it might just be me and how, like, I guess my understanding of the character designs is I felt at times there wasn't enough consistency in the character designs. Like sometimes characters would look just in the right moments, they would look a little bigger than they did throughout the rest of the chapter. So
Yeah, I would agree.
But
I would agree with that.
But I mean, that aside, like I'll agree with everything that's been said. Like the art was definitely functional and great when it needed to be.
I definitely agree. I think something, I don't know if I just thought this was weird, but there were times where like perspective was off a little bit in terms of like if it was looking up at a character like this, and so the character was kind of looking down, their faces were elongated in a very bizarre way, or they were flattened, so kind of like they drew it and then added like a tilt filter to it was kind of what it felt like. So there were moments like that where I noticed the art looking a little weird, but they weren't enough to take me out of it or detract from it or even say that it was bad. Like it just looked a little skewed oddly at some points. So do you guys have anything else you would like to bring up? Or just really quick, and then we can touch final thoughts and ratings. The reporter, what did you guys think about her?
She was so weird.
So weird.
And the fact that the photographer was like, I can read their power level with my camera.
Yeah, it's just a really like an OG scouter is what he's carrying around. He's like, I can't even measure Kuze in my scouter.
It was like, should you be able to? Yeah. So we're in her whole like, she sees an awesome sumo wrestler and she has to run at him even if they're high school kids. I was like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you really should resist
Yeah.
that urge, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we touch on her a little bit. Yeah, do you guys have anything else you'd like to bring up, or do you want to do final thoughts and ratings? Are you ready to do final thoughts?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Awesome. Would anybody like to go first? If not, I can go.
Yeah, I can go. I'm gonna give this a pretty high score. I really loved this. I loved the characters. I loved the pacing. I thought the art was great. It made me like really interested in sumo, which I was not expecting to have happen. And all I want to do is go read more. So I'm gonna give it a 9. I loved it.
That's what I was gonna give it. I was gonna give it a 9 too, because I just had so much fun with it. Not only was I entertained, I just thought it was a really great story that all the character storylines, the character designs, their chemistry, everything just felt so refreshing and genuine. And there was never anything that happened that I was like rolling my eyes at, even if it was a standard sport trope. It felt like it was utilized correctly. The matches are just awesome. Like Dodger said, I want to go do sumo just because, and Lou said, like, it just gets you so hyped about it. And it is everything that a sports manga should be in more. And so I think it deserves a 9, and I'm excited to go and read more. Like, I just want to marathon this, and I want an anime of it so bad.
Yeah, me too.
So bad.
Specifically production IG. I'm also going to give it a 9. Manga's so good. I love it so much.
So good.
Like, I like that we get characters with a goal that is ambiguous enough and large enough that it makes sense for it to be a longer story. And it's a story that doesn't necessarily have to be locked into high school. Maybe there's room for growth outside of high school. I'm curious to see where this goes because the end game isn't all that clear.
Yeah.
Like, are we ever going to see Ushio competing at an international scale? I don't know. I hope so. I think there's several avenues that can be explored with this. There are other fighting styles that can be brought into this because the manga has already taken the steps of bringing people that have experience in other martial arts into sumo. There's just a lot to explore, and I'm excited to read more at some point in the future. I want to read more. It's a 9. Fucking great. Love
So
it.
fucking great. So good. Yeah, so we all give you a 9, and I want to end our discussion on what's my favorite screen grab that I got. Where it's a close-up of this dude doing sumo steps, and it says, they get hard every time they stomp. I don't know if you can't really see it because of the shining, but that's my favorite screen grab from the whole thing. Next to the fart. Next to the fart. Yeah, so that wraps up our discussion on Hinomaru-Zumo. You guys should definitely 100% go and check it out. I don't think we can stress that enough. So I'm going to read the description for the manga that we are reading next week. Oh, it's nice and short. Wonderful.
Oh, yes.
And y'all in chat get to guess what it is. Okay. It's going to be a lot of blanks in here, though, so I apologize. The story follows Blank, a Blank who joins an elite school with a brilliant Blank named Blank. Together with the rest of the team, they strive for Japan's storied Blank championships through hard work and determination.
That could be.
I love how clear and obvious it is.
Literally. Okay. It's one of my favorite sports manga, and it has one of my husbandos in it. So if y'all can't guess it, unless you've already got it, it's got one of my sport husbando in it.
Lou gave you a pretty good hint just then. Believe. I believe in y'all.
I got you. Yes.
Yep, Sagi guys. Battle Angel.
Battle Angel, of course.
Best sports manga.
It does have a sports manga part.
Yeah. I hope we do one day read a manga called Blank.
604 got it.
Yeah!
Oh.
Ace of Diamond! I have been trying to get this manga on the list, I think, for like 3 years. I think it's been since like the second time we scheduled. I've been trying to get this manga on the list because it's one of my favorite sports manga. Like, we'll talk about it next week. Ace of Diamond is what we're discussing. I just have a lot of Ace of Diamond feels. So we are going to be reading Ace of Diamond volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 31 with Anime Intensity as our guest. Definitely come and watch and read it because it deserves to be read by all the people because it's just so great.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast. My name is Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel. It's just a bunch of weeb stuff. If you want to find the previous manga pods, you can do so by going there as well. I recently posted a video about me unboxing my husbando, Daikimakura, which is just the best. It's the best Daikimakura. So if you want to see that trash video, you should definitely go and check it out. If you want to find me on any other social media, I'm Happily Erin all across the everything. Come and hang out.
Hi everybody, I'm Dodger. You might be watching this on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/dexbonus. I stream almost every day. And you can also find me on youtube.com/pressarttocontinue, where I do anime news and gaming news. And I also just started a show called Box Talk, where my fiance and I open up different subscription boxes every week, and it's very silly. And yeah, that's about it. If you'd like to come hang out, that would be amazing. And if not, I'll see you on the next MangaPod.
Hey. My name is Lou, and I'm from Lou Talks Anime. You can find me at youtube.com/LouTalksAnime now, where I recently posted a review for Detroit Metal City. I fucking love that anime.
Me
Great
too.
anime.
Holy shit, I haven't watched that in forever.
It is so good. And like I just recently rewatched it for the review, and it's more metal than I remember. It's so good.
So
good.
good.
Everybody needs, spoiler alert for my review. Go watch Detroit Metal City. It's fucking great. If you want to talk to me on social media stuff, just Lou Talks Anime basically everywhere. Let's have a fun little conversation, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and talking about this manga with us this week. If you want more MangaPod, you can go to our subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod. We have our upcoming schedule there, as well as a recommendation thread. So if there is any manga you would like us to see or like us to possibly read in the future, you should definitely go ahead and post it there. Otherwise, we will be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, reading Ace of Diamond, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 31. We hope you'll join us. Do it for Miyuki. That's all I gotta say. Bye!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye!